Hey guys, what's going on? We got another Shaman PvP video here, and again we're playing LEDH. We seem to be having some good luck with this, so it's gonna be going on for a while considering we need to get our rating up, and this seems to be the best way so far. So, uh, first up we got a matchup against an Ellie, Balance, and Resto Druid. Uh, Basically, anytime you fight a Resto Druid, you want to switch it up as much as you can, but also don't forget that you do still have a primary kill target. You just want to force the cooldowns and such, and you want to force the Druid to switch targets. This comp does a great job of that, but as you can see, they have two Cyclones and a uh, solar beam, so you have to be careful. As you saw, the druid came in, solar beamed, and was gonna go for a clone, but he stood right next to me while I was stunned, so I could still thunderstorm to interrupt the clone. It's a very good thing to watch for. You have to be mindful too, like there is a range on thunderstorm, but if you're playing a druid and you go for a clone and you have your target, your shaman stunned, don't stand too close to them, back up, you have time. So if they are standing close, go ahead and knock them and use it as an interrupt. It's great. But anyways, as you can see, we're kind of switching around. The druids kind of already use tree form. We're trying to force as much of his hots all over the place as possible. As you see, the resto druid came in. It looked like he was going for the clone, so I just kind of knocked him, giving Shook enough time to get out of that stun and ready for it. But as you can see, we're just doing a lot of damage. I still don't understand why my lightning bolts are lighting up. I think it must be like some sort of bug. I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah, we're doing maximum damage. For the most part, Boomkin is going to be the easiest target as it doesn't have as heavy of a defensive, but it also does have a bit more self-healing. As you can see, I'm still making mistakes with Ellie. Obviously, I'm just trying to get back into it, and you're gonna make mistakes no matter what. But it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it, and honestly, this comp has been working wonders for us. But as you can see, we get a bit of damage on the Resto Druid. He's in cat form. I get a full lasso, and just trying to see if I can force any cooldowns, but we don't really get anything out of it, which sucks. But as you can see, we get the Boomkin pretty low. I moved the Ellie over to Plum so he doesn't have to worry too much about switching. We just get a whole bunch of damage on that Boomkin, but he's back to being safe, so we're going to quickly switch to the Ellie Shaman, get a bit more damage out, try and force a bit more of his hots, and there Shook gets Hex, so I just go ahead and dispel it. But a whole bunch of damage just went on Plum. He got his nether walk off, thankfully, but unfortunately, Shook had to trade Bubble too. So it did, we lost a bit there, so we're a bit more on the back foot right now, but their druid goes for a drink while we get both of them kind of low. The Ellie Shaman has to spend Burrow. There goes his NS. He's still got about the same amount of mana as Shuck, so we're still a bit in the clear. They're stacking up, which makes it easier for Plum to get a bit of damage, but as you see, the Ellie procs an Ascendant, so I just go ahead and lasso him just to stop as much damage. Get a kick on the clone, so he doesn't get anything on Shook there. But it's lately we've been finding matches are going for a long time, especially when we fight these wizard cleaves. The matches just seem to drag on and drag on. It's kind of crazy, and dampening doesn't hit until so late, and I think that might be an issue. As you can see, the druid went for a clone, but he thought I had kick, which I didn't. So I was very thankful that he went ahead and canceled it because I had nothing for him. Here, Shook is hexed, and it took me a while to realize that, which is really, really bad. So if you have anything to help you see hexes, you know, get it a bit easier because I'm just trying to work on my awareness and not rely too much on add-ons because I think it helps out more, and I honestly don't know how long they'll keep the add-ons in, whether they'll always keep them in or they might remove them at some point, who knows. But as you can see by my damage, I am significantly higher than their Ellie Shaman. Uh, as to why, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Shook is getting a lot more dispels off. I don't know. But as you can see, Plum is hexed, so I go ahead and dispel him right there. let him get a bit more damage. I'm getting pumped right now, so I kind of just drop grounding, getting ready to interrupt the clone, move him over. Didn't really do much, but brought him closer to Plum, really. But I'm also, another thing to remember is, as an Ellie Shaman, you want to make sure you're using healing stream on cooldown, just like every Shaman spec, I guess. As you can see, we get really close on the balance druid there. It was quite a close call for him, even though he had tree form active. He had to burn his tranquility just to survive. Um, but we're getting lower and lower on mana, which means we're definitely in the winnings, but a druid does tend to push more into dampening than a holy paladin. So as you can see, the shaman's going for hexes here, like quite a lot. Shook gets a really big drink. So it was very good on our part that we kept pushing them so hard, forcing the druid to have to heal. And Plum sees that he wants to go for a drink, dashes right over there and cancels it. It was a great job on his part. And the druid makes a mistake of coming behind the pillar, so I go ahead and cage him and keep him stuck there, forcing even more cooldowns. There's his next tree form. I don't know how long the tree form cooldown is, but I think they get a lot of reductions. But as you see, we're just straight pumping this boomkin. He's got so many cooldowns on him, and he's just able to stay alive, which is crazy. So here we're going to make a switch to the Ellie Shaman. I see Plum switch, so I just go ahead and switch with him. Any bit of damage. I see the healer wants to get some CC on Plum, so I just go ahead and CC him a little bit. And then we're going to start pumping through the Shaman's wall. We're just not caring about wall. Thankfully, I got clone there because I was about to burn Primordial Wave into a grounding totem. So it's a nice part on his clone. I was very thankful for that. I'm just able to just maximize damage. The druid's LOSing, so I'm just hitting the shaman a little bit, just trying to get damage rather than blindly running, trying to hit something I can't see. It's better to hit something you can see and just force the druid to spend even more mana. As you can see, the druid goes for a quick drink, but I get a huge proc here, and we just knock out the Ellie Shaman. Just a lot of damage just went out. And honestly, Ellie Shaman is kind of crazy right now. There's so much damage behind it, and it's so easy to do. It's great. You don't have to worry about being in melee or being too far away. But anyways, here we got Ret Paladin, Havoc, Demon Hunter. One of the more annoying classes to fight is Paladin, and the reason why is because they have the Judgment Dispel. Now this guy doesn't seem to be running it, thankfully, because it irks. It gets on my nerve so much. I hate it. I think it's silly. But you know what? Can't really do much about it. So we just push through it. But our main focus is going to be the Demon Hunter. But at the same time, we know the Ret Paladin can fall over as well. So there's really no perfect target in this situation for our comp. We just kind of press everybody and see who uses their cooldowns first. That's essentially what we've been doing, and it's been working out. As you can see, I don't have my Earth Shield up, which I should. But anyways, we get Bubble, and then we also get Healing Tide, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to that. Try and kill it. I'm not getting anything out of it. I used my Meteor on the frickin' thing by accident, but here the Wrestler Shaman kind of pushes out, so I hit him a little bit because the other two went off to Shook. Get them off of me real quick with the Cage Totem. Cage Totem is super duper useful. You can kite them into a pillar, and you can kite them just off of you as well. But here, as you can tell, I'm not playing on a pillar. One, because I don't want to be near Shook. I don't want to get cleaved down, and I don't want them to have an easy time switching to him. So I'm just playing in the open, allowing Shook to sit behind the pillar and heal me. But it probably would have been better to run behind the pillar. I was just worried that Shook would get swapped, and that does. Holy Paladins tend to fall when they get swapped onto. They're a bit of an easier target. Here we're fighting Arms Warrior Destro Warlock, one of the more pains in the butt comps, another dampening one, kind of similar to ours, but a little bit less damage focused and a bit more tanky focused. I think Warlocks have a lot of CC as well with all their stuns and fears. So here I'm going to play very, very passive. As you can see, I'm kind of very close to this pillar. At any point, I can just dip behind it and pull in the Warlock a bit closer to me. As you'll see in a second, there's the Observer. You have to make sure you kill this as soon as possible for Ellie Shamans because it's going to hit you on every single overload. And it's bloody annoying. And I think it's dumb and it needs a nerf. But yeah, so as you can see, the Druid's kind of sitting out in the open. I kind of peel out. I know Shook is feared, but I can't get close to him to tremor it. So I just kind of open up with a Primordial Wave on everybody and do some maximum damage. Our main focus is definitely the Warlock. He's going to fall the easiest, but at the same time, the Warrior isn't just like, we don't want to leave the Warrior alone at all. So here, I'm back at the pillar. I'm ready to walk away a little bit. So I drop Sky Fury behind it so they have a really bad time trying to kill it. And as you can see, the Warlock is just taking the damage. And he pulls up a bit closer and closer, and I pull him in with the Cage Totem. And I lasso him down on the ground. Here, they don't even kill the Cage Totem. This is forcing the Druid into a really bad spot. As you can see, Shook capitalized on that and interrupted him. But as you can see, the Warlock's just running around the pillar. We can't quite hit him, so I switch to the Warrior. I'm just, kill the Warrior. Let's get the Warrior. He's taking damage. And then as soon as we can, we'll get back onto the Warlock. But he gates away. I'm just hitting this Warrior, and as you can see, he just fell over. So it's not always good to sit on the primary target. You want to always make sure switches. And if you're fighting a Shaman, be careful being near pillars because they will pull you to them. And also, in a prior season, you could actually pull people through the pillar with the Cage Totem. And that was hilarious. But anyways, we're on to the final match. We are fighting DKDH. This one was very odd, but also very annoying at the same time. I'm trying to play very far away just so I don't get cleaved by this Frost DK with the whole team. And as you can see, the Paladin's going for CC on me. He went for the rep, and I fudged it, so there I am sitting a rep because I'm bad. But our main focus is going to be on the DK. But again, the DH is still an option, but he's very focused on hitting Shook. As to why, we're not sure, but he is very, very focused on that. So I dot him up. Shook is doing a great job kiting him. The Frost DK doesn't have much damage outside of his pillar, so we're just going ahead and tanking it. Here I root the DH behind the pillar. There the Frost DK finally makes a connect to Shook. I go ahead and lasso the Pally, get the interrupt from the DK, and here is where a lot of damage goes out because the DK is able to grip us all up. Shook's taking a lot of damage, but he still has bubble, so we're kind of in the clear. There he is. He burns the bubble. I get repped, but I'm inside Death and Decay, so he can't do anything, which is kind of unfortunate on their part, but as you see, I get a full hex. We're doing maximum damage right here. There's the bop. I try and purge it, but you know, in this game, there's a million magical effects, so I don't get it off until later. Get a Knight's Ascendance proc. So we're just doing a whole lot of damage. Demon Hunter's kind of falling. There was a weird interaction. As you can see, I dropped Cage Totem and then I tried to move it instantly, but some weird lag system caused it to do it in the reverse order. I don't know why, but it was really weird. But anyways, as you can see, the Demon Hunter is getting very, very low. There's AMS and there's another grip. As soon as I saw the grip, I used Thunderstorm because I don't want the DK blinding us. As you can see, it kind of interrupted them, but unfortunately they were able to get a reconnection. But here, the Demon Hunter is just falling. I use my Rock Elemental to try and stun him, get a little bit tankier, and they're not communicating at all. Like, one's on me, one's on Shook. If they had connected together, they probably could have taken one of us down. I used Burrow and used it to knock up the DK to get him off of Shook. He switches to me, which makes it a bit easier, and we're just able to damage down the DK a lot, get a lot of defensives. We got Lay on Hands, and the Paladin has nothing left for this Death Knight. So as you can see, I pull the Demon Hunter here behind the pillar, do a lot of damage, just trying to scare the crap out of all of them. There's the bubble from the healer. So Our main focus is definitely this DK. As you can see, he's taking a lot of damage. Even though we are a magical effect type of comp, he's still taking a lot, and there he falls. But yeah, that is it for this session. We're really enjoying this comp. We're having some good luck, and we're actually doing a bit more arena than usual, so it's kind of nice to see. But that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!